The poet wrote this: only one life to soon be past. Only what's done for God will last. And when I am dying, how glad I shall be if the lamp of my life has been burned out for thee. It's only one life to soon be past.
There's no concern. There has to come an awakening in the church to the peril. Those loved ones who are at the end of the table, they don't go to church. No, they're going to hell. Why don't you say it? The only time you can say Christ is all I need is when Christ is all you have.
Leonard, to somewhat recover from the severe accident that he had, when he had to jump out of a burning hotel, and he had 7 major breaks in his body, his back, and his feet, legs, and it took 2 or 3 years to recover.
And the doctor said, he said, by another 11 years from now, you'll be crippled and paralyzed. Your back's broken, your feet are broken, your legs are broken, you'll be useless. Well, I may be useless, but I'm still hanging on.
The only thing that will tie me in victory continually through the blood of Christ is my personal devotion to Him, the Son of God. My adoration, that I give Him my tribute every day. It's more than my service, it's more than giving my money. That I love Him and I adore Him and I magnify Him. I take Him, as it were, by the feet.
When I read Hebrews 11, I fall on my face, because not one person in Hebrews 11 ever had a Bible. There's a verse there that staggers me, and it says what? It says, they did by faith subdue kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. And then one verse says, not accepting deliverance. What does it mean? I'd rather die than fail Christ.
I've said it many times, I say it again this morning, that no man is greater than his prayer life. A man's life, all his ministry, it showed. Do you see the difference between the wood and the hay and the stubble and the silver and the gold and the precious stones? Wood, hay and stubble are above the ground. They catch the eye. Silver and gold and precious stones are below the ground. Nobody sees them. There's a lot of public ministry in that day that's going to go down in ashes, my brother.
The Lord whom you seek, we're not seeking Him. We're seeking revival. We're seeking healing. We're seeking miracles. It's not that we need. If we get God, we get all that's needed. And revival is when God comes down.
Because if there's anything about love, one thing about it, it's obedience. And if we get back to a people who are really baptized with obedience, submissive to the total will of God, not concerned about human opinion, not asking for more to spend prodigally on ourselves, but say, oh God, I want this life of mine adjusting so when I stand in your awesome presence, as James says, we shall not be ashamed that is a pity. If there are 1,000,000 roads into hell, there's not one road out. That if they continually sing in heaven, worthy is the Lamb, in hell, the only thing they sing is the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we're not saved.
But prayer is the secret. You know that. You make up your mind you're going to give time to prayer. The devil will fight it more than anything else. Your phone will ring off the hook. Visitors will come. Somebody will say, come and preach at our church. Why do you go conduct a revival in somebody else's church when your own is dead? That's nonsense. In my mind, entertainment is the devil's substitute for joy. The more joy you have in the Lord, the less entertainment you need. When you can say, thou, O Christ, art all I want. But listen, be careful, he may strip you of everything else you have. You may lose some of your best friends that think you're fanatical. They don't mind you being kind and good, but you become holy and zealous, and immediately sit and hear the word of the living God and not catch fire.
Christianity has not been weighed in the balances and found wanting. It's been tried, found difficult, and rejected.
Worst thing ever happened to a preacher is he becomes civilized. It's worthless. Worthless. One thing I noticed about Leonard Ravenhill, now I'd take a Leonard Ravenhill over 20 dead Calvinists. One thing I noticed about Leonard Ravenhill, he was dangerous. He was dangerous.
The church never had more equipment than she has now. She never had less power.
You know, the nitty-gritty of the whole thing is this: we don't know God. We don't know God. We know theology, we know about Him. Why did Jesus come into the world? To save sinners. That's not what Jesus said. What did Jesus say? I'm come that they may know Thee. Every man that comes in my office, and I get them worldwide, I don't know why, but they come. And I say, first tell me, do you know God? Well, I have a degree. I didn't ask you about that. Do you know God? When was your last encounter with God? When were you last prostrate in His presence? When did you last sit spellbound at His majesty? You don't know God. Till, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. And somebody said God came down that night. Well, that's where revival is born. You can't schedule it. The stupid thing, we're going to start a revival next Sunday night and finish there. Who gives orders to the Holy Ghost? Sensitivity to the Spirit of God is one thing I covered. I want to be one of the 10 most wanted men in hell. I want the demons to say, Jesus I know and Ravenhill I know. Jesus I know and Dell I know. That's why the devils opposed him.
They tell me that out at Berkeley there's a guru who goes out on the lawn there every lunchtime and gathers 2,000 students round him. Come and sit round us for a year and listen. How is it men with unbelief and heresy can magnetize crowds and we with the truth of the living God can't? Paul says, my preaching is not in word only, much about it, but in power and demonstration of the Holy Ghost.